Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the video. Today's a really exciting day. Lorcana, all of Lorcana's cards are finally out, and I'm joined by my close friend before even I started playing TCGs, SVN Birch, also known as Josh. So if I just say any of those names, just let me. That's who I'm talking to. Would you like to introduce yourself, Josh?
Yeah, hey, what's up, everyone?
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we've been playing. We've kind of been playing the set for an okay amount of time. I've been playing a bit longer than Josh, but we just sort of done some proxies and made decks with whatever cards were revealed. But we're really excited to see the full set, and we're just going to go over each card and give our opinion. So if those of you haven't seen a set review before, that's basically what it is. And yeah, because Lorcana is such a big set, this video is probably going to be a long one. Sorry guys, but at the same time, every card is kind of important because there's not a massive card pool yet. This is the card pool, so that's why I feel like it's important to cover every card. Yeah, so let's get started. So the first card in the whole game is, feels weird to say that actually, is going to be Ariel on human legs. So it's a 3/4 and has 2 lore pips on the card, 4 costs to play, and it's inkable. It has a weird effect, a really weird effect, which is pretty cool because it's actually very flavoursome. That is voiceless, because obviously Ariel in this part of her story can't speak, but even the flavour text is just ellipses, which is pretty cool. But yeah, basically voiceless. This character can't sing songs. I mean, it's okay. Do you have anything to say, Josh, about this card?
Yeah, I was running a few copies of this card when we were doing some proxy games, and I mean, it's a good kind of standard card. The 4 costs to play is not too bad. The 3 damage, 4 health again is pretty good. The effect on it, though, does kind of seem counterproductive.
Yeah, I think it's. I was actually really hoping there was going to be a shift Ariel, and this is what was going to be shiftable. But I mean, this could be very big in the future. Again, like a lot of these cards we might be saying like are kind of bad now or mid now. They might be really good later on, so we have no idea.
Well, the 2 pips are pretty good.
Yeah, 2 pips are pretty good. The 4 health is really good. And it's a princess, and as we know, Moana's also in the same color, and Moana just does. Moana's just a crazy card. So we'll go into Ariel Spectacular Singer. So this is almost a mirror of the card that we saw before. Instead of not being able to sing songs, she's actually able to sing songs as if she was a 5-cost character. She is 3 play cost, inkable, 2 free, and 1 pip on the side. Music debut. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a song, put it in your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. This has really good synergy of any decks that might be able to utilize songs very well. And I think also this also being a princess, Moana lets you kind of use songs a bit more risk-free because you're able to sing a song and then just restand your princess with Moana. So if you guys don't know what we're speaking about, we're going to go over every card anyway, so hopefully you'll be able to see the parallels of what we're talking about later on into the video. Anything you want to say, Josh?
I think it's just adding on to what you said. The musical debut is quite a good effect. I mean, you are revealing and adding in a song card, but depending on your deck build, that can be a really useful effect.
Yeah.
And I mean, of the 2 Ariels we've seen so far, I know there are others. I would personally go with the Spectacular Singer version.
Yeah, I can see that. We'll head over to Cinderella next. So again, this is probably more support for a Singer type deck. It says Singer 4 when you click on the card, but it's actually Singer 5 if you look at the card. But Singer 5 counts as a 5 cost to sing songs. Wonderful Dream. Remove up to 3 damage from a chosen princess character. I mean, this card's really good. It is really good. Moana is actually able to utilize this card really well. Being able to quest with your princesses, restand them with Moana, and then basically swing some into your opponent's characters, then heal free off of one of your princess characters. I think that's a really strong effect. 5 health is nothing to sneeze at as well. Anything from you, Josh, on that one?
Well, and again, 2 pips, so generally quite a good all-rounder.
Yeah, yeah, 2 pips is really strong. So I mean, the max we usually see is like 3. There are some 4, but I think there's only 1 4. But we'll see as we go through.
Depending on the deck as well, there is potential to get even higher with combos.
That's true. We have Goofy Musketeer next. So this is the first time we're seeing this effect, Bodyguard. I mean, me and Josh are familiar with it because we've been playing for a bit, but for you guys who don't know, this character may enter play exerted. An opposing character who challenges one of your characters must choose the Bodyguard character if able. And it also has the effect, and 2 for T. When you play this character, you may remove 2 damage from each of your Musketeer characters. It's a 5 cost to play, Inkable, and 1 pip on the side, and it's a 3/6. So it's pretty much a good tank, and very good support for the Musketeers deck. We don't know I don't know how viable in archetype decks are going to be in the first set. I think you're going to have to mix and mash a bunch of stuff purely because of that. Obviously, it's the first set. You need a couple of sets of support to really start getting, for example, a full Musketeers deck going. Anything from you on that one, Josh?
Yeah, just all round again. Looks like a decent card. The 3 damage, 6 health.
Yeah,
really quite a good combo.
3 damage is actually is actually quite a decent amount. So it's able to probably tank a hit and then deal damage to something else. So it's a really good way to stop your opponent to swinging into you.
Yeah, and being a bodyguard as well. Obviously, that is really helpful with protecting the rest of your characters and for questing. So it does seem like a useful card. And obviously, if you are running a Musketeers deck, it would seem pivotal.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next one. So we have Hades, King of Olympus. It has the ability Shift. So when you shift, you basically you're able to pay a reduced cost for playing this character, but it counts as being played, so it's still affected by summoning sickness after you shift. But you could, for example, quest first or swing at something first and then shift. But there's a few things about this. Maybe also, if I'm saying anything ruling that's incorrect, forgive me because the game is new and it's not even out yet. So, but as far as I understand, that's how it works. He is not inkable, so when there isn't a flourish around the play cost, that means that character is not inkable. So just in case anyone doesn't know, and it also has the ability Sinister Plot. This character gets +1 lore for each other villain you have in play, so this is obviously intended to be a part of a villain deck, which I think is quite funny because Amber has a lot of princess support, and obviously this is a very good card for villain support as well. And Hades himself is a 6/7. Now that is definitely nothing to sneeze at. 6/7 is an absolute tank. 9 times out of 10, nothing is probably killing this or swinging into this. This is probably something you're definitely going to need like a removal action for. You got anything to say about this, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I like Hades as a character, super fun. The design of the card as well, specifically, really nice. I have played with this card with proxies, and I do have a couple issues with it. Being an 8 cost and not being able to use it to add ink into your ink well is quite risky. I mean, yeah, the 6 damage, 7 health, obviously really good stats, but it does take quite a long time for this character to come out. And depending on the decks that you're playing, you might not even get a chance to have this card put out before the game's even over.
Yeah, I do think Lorcana is quite a fast-paced game, but we are seeing like a couple more removal options starting to come out. In terms of this card as well, don't forget that you can shift 6 on him, so with lanterns as well, it can kind of help. I think you might be able to play just in time with a shift, but I think just in time can only play characters that are 5 cost, so technically you wouldn't be able to even use it for him anyway, so I don't even know why I brought that up. But Yeah, I do like this card a lot. I like that he has achieved his dreams to become King of Olympus, and the flavor text is quite funny. Oh hey, I'm gonna need new business cards. It's pretty cool. I like the idea of like playing a villain deck. So this sounds like something I might mess with in the future. We have another Hades, but this is sort of like a baby Hades, and something you might shift on top of to get to King of Olympus. Hades, Lord of the Underworld. He has the ability Well of Souls. When you play this character, you may return a character card from your discard to your hand. This is I actually don't run any ways in my and Amber and Sapphire deck to be able to take cards out of the trash, but Josh does. And when playing Josh, I see him take stuff out of his trash all the time. I'm like, man, that's so good. I wish I could do that right now, because sort of mid to late game in Lorcana, your hand tends to get quite small, simply because you keep putting one card in your inkwell, and then you play a card, and then you basically negging a card every single turn, because you only draw one unless you have an effect that lets you draw more cards. So I do think being able to add cards from your discard is almost like basically drawing a card, so I think it's really strong. This would be, I think, a very key card to run as a 4 of in a villain deck if you're probably going for it. Yeah, and so its stats 4 not inkable, that's a 3/2 and 1 law. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to say, Josh, about that one.
No, I think you've covered everything. It is a really good card generally. I mean, not being able to use it for your inkwell isn't great, but at a 4 cost, it's fine. But it is really the ability which is the really good thing about this card. As you said, when we've played the games before, being able to bring out a character from your trash late on really helps.
Yeah, I do think that's pretty interesting in terms of like Lorcana's deck building. You have to really think about how many uninkable cards you're going to run as well. Then we have he or he. I don't know. I feel bad. I actually haven't watched the movie he's in yet, Moana, but I do want to soon, hopefully before the game comes out. He is a 1-cost character. I think personally 1-cost characters are really important. I think it's good for consistency to have a decent amount of 1-cost characters. And he has the ability support. Whenever this character quests, you may add their damage to a chosen character for this turn. I mean, you're not adding much with him, but sometimes it is the difference between being able to kill an opponent's character or not. But yeah, I do think it's an interesting card. I think it's pretty good. We don't have a lot of 1-costs, and if a 1-cost has an ability, sure, I'll probably run it in my deck if it's in the color I'm playing. So, you have anything to say about this?
No, I think you covered it again. It is just a fun, cheap card to play, really. And also, if you were able to get more than one of he out, again, using the support effect, you can combo it, and that can change around quite quickly.
Yeah, definitely think so. I like this card. Yeah, he's also funny looking, so that's pretty cool. We'll move to do you know how to say this character's name?
Lifao?
Lifao? Yeah.
I'm saying that, but I'm not saying it confidently.
Yeah. It's been a while since we watched our Disney movies, eh? He is a 2-cost inkable character. He has 1/2 damage stats, and then he has the ability Loyal. If you have a Gaston in play, you may pay 1 less ink to play this character. I mean, if you're gonna go with a Gaston deck, but I actually don't know if Gaston is quite strong or not. But I mean, that might be I think he's a villain character, so that might be a good combination for the Hades villain deck with Hades and Gaston. I don't know, but two lore pips on the side. There's definitely nothing to sneeze at. These characters they might not seem really strong, but 2 cost 2 lore. Man, that just if your opponent can't deal with it or has any way to destroy banish this character straight away, they start to ramp up a lot of lore very quickly, and you don't need to win the game by normal card convention rules. So you just need to get to 20 as fast as possible, and this definitely helps you do that. Anything to say from you, Josh, on this one?
No, I just completely agree. I think it's the lowest cost card we've seen so far with the highest pip. So the 2 cost 2 pips.
I think there
really
is
good.
I do think there might be a 2 cost 2 pip for every color. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but obviously that's why
we'll
we're doing
see
this
as we
review.
go along.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll move on to Lilo. Now, Lilo is absolutely cracked. If your opponent does not get rid of this card, a 1 cost with 2 pip. I know it's not inkable, but man, jeez Louise, that is absolutely powerful as hell. I can see why it's not inkable. And then in combination with Rockstar Stitch, this is definitely really strong, because you get to play this card. You get to draw a card as well for Rockstar Stitch if you have a bodyguard or a way to protect Lilo. Then man, it's next turn you're just gonna gain so much lore. This is a relatively new reveal, I believe, as well. Anything from you on that one, Josh?
Yeah, I'll definitely be running it. With a 1 cost, again, I don't really think that matters much if it's not inkable, purely because I don't think you would even want to use this as ink, given the choice, because of how good a card it is.
Yeah, I kind of agree on that. It's even if it does get banished instantly, like by an action or something like that, you've only paid 1 ink for it. So
yeah.
Whereas your opponent's probably paid more to get rid of it. So it is a really high value card. I definitely think it's pretty cool. We'll move on to Maximus, the Palace Horse. He also is a bodyguard boy, and he once we go over effect the first time, I'm not really going to go over it too many times after, just so the video is a bit shorter. But yeah, bodyguard, really good redirection, support as well. So you can not only just he's just not once you quest with him later on, at least you're getting that +4 damage somewhere else, and a lot. That's 4 is a lot of damage, to be fair. A 4/5 inkable card, 5 cost to play. The only thing I don't really like is that he's 5 cost to play, but then just in time is also in this color. So I mean, any 5 cost card in Amber is basically 3 cost if you want it to be.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do think it's pretty decent. I don't think it's a bad card at all. Wouldn't be surprised if this is used in a few decks.
Yeah, I think it's a good higher cost card. The support and putting the damage on, that is going to be high damage if you've got another, say, level 5 card out.
I mean, he's doing 2 good things. He's protecting your characters, and he's also giving your characters more damage to get over other ones. So if you do play Amber, a lot of Amber cards don't necessarily have high damage. Amber's more of a healing kind of deck, in my opinion, anyway. So this could be teched into Amber to theoretically get over high life characters. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. We got another Maximus. This one is Relentless Pursuer. He is a Dreamborn boy. He is 3 cost to play, inkable, and he's a 3/3. And with 1 lore pip. He has the ability Horse Kick. This character, you only play this character, it doesn't have to be one of your opponents, but any chosen character gets -2 damage to them. So cards like this are really interesting. Let's just call it, because we play Digimon, let's just call it damage minus. Or even DP minus, damage power minus, Josh. DP minus. Yeah, so being able to DP minus is pretty strong. You're able to hit into your opponent's characters and then not take too much damage back. Can't really complain about that. So, anything from you on that one, Josh?
Yeah, I think the horse kick, if you can use it well, it is quite a good ability. Like, I mean, as we can see on the screen, for instance, Lilo, a Mini, Mr. Smee, if you -2 damage to any of those, they are doing no damage to you, and you could quite easily take them off the board if they are suspended.
100%. 100%. It's basically a free, you're basically, it's a body and a removal almost at the same time, so.
Yeah.
We have Mickey Mouse, the man, the myth, the legend. He's a free, inkable, and 2 pips. This card is actually directly talking about Lorcana's universe. As long as he's around, newcomers at the Great Illuminary are always get a warm welcome. So in this game, your players are Luminaries, and there's an Illuminary that you summon the characters out of, basically. And he is the gatekeeper of the safe haven of the Illuminary. So I hope we get more of the Lorcana's actual in-world story as the game progresses, because I think it could be quite interesting. But this card, I don't run this card, but Josh has been running this card, and it's a little bit of a pain in my backside sometimes, because free damage, free health, you can't trade small characters into it because Mickey Mouse will murder them to high heaven, and then two lore pips is really strong, helps you get to 20 a lot faster. Anything you want to say about your boy?
It's just a good champion card, really. I mean, 3 costs, you can get to it fairly early game. Again, 3 damage, 3 health, really good stats. It will likely survive most kind of attacks. It's just a good card.
Well, next we have his waifu for Lifu, Minnie Mouse, beloved princess. So this could be run in the princess deck. It's a 2/3, only 1 lore pip, but it's a kind of a little bit of a mini tank. It's pretty decent to play on turn 2 because it probably survive. Don't really have much else to say about it, really. It's just good. It's a good early turn card. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add on that either. I mean, I'm not running it in my deck personally, but I mean, it might be good, but so far, compared to the other cards we've seen, there is.
I mean, I'm directly building a princess deck. I'm gonna main princess deck. That is just because that is who I am as a person. I'll always rep all my waifus. So anytime there's a princess deck or princess support, you bet I'm building it. So I'm happy that it's a good addition to the princess deck, in my opinion. We have Moana. In my opinion, the best card in Amber, just straight up. Either this card or Rockstar Stitch is the best card in Amber. So Moana is a 5 cost inkable and is a 1/6 and has 3 lore pips on the side. So it being 5 cost means that it can be played off just in time. It has the ability We Can Fix It. Whenever this character quests, you may ready your other princess characters. Once you ready your other princess characters, they can't quest for the rest of the turn. So what you can do with Moana is quest other princesses, then quest her and get them to restand. And then you can choose to either swing them at your opponent's characters, or you can just leave them unsuspended so that they can't be swung into. So I think it's a really... Her being 6 life as well. The 1 damage kind of sucks, but if you can get a bodyguard out and her being 6 life, man, is she a monster to try banish for your opponent. But yeah, I think it's a really, really busted card, and I'm happy it gives Amber so many plays around other decks as well, so I think it's really strong. Anything to say on that one, Josh?
Yeah, I agree. It is really strong. I mean, when you've used this card on me, being able to restand your princesses that they've quested to then attack me has definitely cleared my board a few times. So if you use it right, It's a super effective card.
We'll move on to Mr. Smee. He is just a free cost inkable 2/5. 2/5/5 is very beefy. And then he has one law pip. He has no effects, but he's okay. I don't really have anything to say about him. For me, personally, I like to play around the powerhouses of my deck. So I like to play a lot of 2-cost and 1-cost cards if I'm playing Rockstar Stitch, obviously to use Adoring Fans, or if I'm playing Princess deck, obviously you need types that are princesses or things that I can play off just in time. So him being free is, I think free is quite an awkward number for Amber personally, but because you can't really cheat him out or anything. I know that seems a bit weird, but if I'm comparing paying free for Mr. Smee versus using just in time, which is free cost to play Moana, there's definitely a massive difference in between these two cards, if you get what I mean. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I don't know if you have anything to say, Josh, about it.
No, I agree. I think unless there is the ability to do a pirate deck, and there are other cards which will boost pirates.
I mean, there is a lot of pirate characters because of Captain Hook as well, and then you can just play you can play One Piece in Lorcana.
Change up the game.
Yeah, exactly. Just play the One Piece deck. We have Prince Philip. I think this is kind of a new reveal. He is a Dragon Slayer. He has heroism. When this character challenges and is banished, you may banish the challenged character. And he has 2 law. This card, in my opinion, is really good. Is actually really good. If I could find space, I'd probably run him. But because he can 2 for 1 a lot of things. I think he's actually really strong with the bodyguard horse that we just looked at with support as well. Because you could make him have 7 damage, right? Crash him into something, and then take out 2 things because you'll 7 damage into one thing, and then because he's banished from crashing into it, he can banish another character. So I mean, being able to 2 for 1 off of him is really strong in my opinion, especially in the first set. Then we have. Did you have anything to say about him, Josh?
No, it's just the heroism effect, the essential retaliation.
Yeah, it's literally retaliation.
It adds some flavour to the Amber deck.
Yeah, I think it's pretty strong. I really like him. Then we have Pumbaa, friendly warthog. Sadly, he doesn't have any effects, but he is a 3/5, so he's a bit of a tanky boy. He's a 4-cost, he's inkable, and he also has only 1 law pip. I think this card is meh. I don't really personally think I would run this card, but if there's a lot of small chip damage removal, like I know Steel has like one that does 2 damage to everything, you might want to run him just so he's tanking hits because he can survive 2 of those. But yeah, can't really think of anything else to say about him. If you have anything.
No, he is kind of meh. I mean, he's a bit on the expensive side for what he is, really.
Then we have Rapunzel, one of the legendary cards. I think may have glossed over one already, but I'm not sure. But anyway, she's a 4-cost, she's inkable, she's a 1/5, so she's a bit of a tank. But for me, it's her ability that's really strong. So like I said, we keep talking about restanding with princesses, but you know that's what Moana does, and you can potentially swing into a bunch of stuff and then play Rapunzel after. When you play this character, she can remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters and draws 1 card for each damage removed this way. She has 2 lore, so once she's out and you have Moana out, you can quest with her and then restand. So I think she's pretty strong. I think this is one of the more staple legendary cards, to be honest. Like being able to draw potentially 3 cards is massive. Hand advantage is really, really important in this game, and being able to heal stuff as well. I just don't see anything wrong with this card, and unfortunately, I think she'll be quite pricey depending on what pool rates are like. Anything from you on that one, bro?
No, I don't think there's anything else for me to add. I mean, you are running the princess deck. I'm not. So I think obviously for you it's a lot more valuable than it would be for me, and I think it will be interesting, as you said as well, because she is a legendary card. How easily available she will be to pull, and also what kind of playset requirement will she be? Like, will she be a 4 of just a 2?
That's true. We have Sebastian. His art's pretty funny. He's a 2 cost, so he can be used with adoring fans. It has Singer 4, so he counts as a 4 cost to sing songs, and he's a 2/2 with a 1 lore pip on the side. So he's okay. If you're gonna run a pure Rockstar Stitch, I think this is definitely a card that you need to run. But yeah, don't have much else to say about him.
No.
We have Simba. I think Simba is one of the most strongest 2 costs in the game, just straight up. He's 2 cost Inkable. He's a 2/3, and only 1 lore pip on the side, but he has Bodyguard, and that to me is insane. You can play this with adoring fans again. You're gonna draw body. He will already suspend himself off of Rockstar Stitch's effect, and then you have basically something to protect Rockstar Stitch with. And yeah, he's just free life is okay. Yeah, he's not getting he's not gonna get hurt by anything too early on in the game unless it's even fire the cannons. I think it only does 2 damage, so he's probably surviving. I think he's a good guy. I think he's one of the strongest 2 costs in the game. Yeah. Anything from you on that one?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be running him.
Yeah, I think it's a 4 of, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, such a low cost and the bodyguard ability, I think definitely a 4 of.
We'll move on to the next. So we have Stitch, Carefree Surfer. This is another legendary card. He has the ability Ohana. Nobody gets left behind. No, I'm joking. When you play this character, if you have 2 or more other characters in play, you get to draw 2 cards. He has 2 lore pips on the side. He's a 7 cost, but he is inkable, and he's a 4/8. I don't really know how to feel about this card. I was really hoping he'd be a bit stronger, but I do think this might be the top end that Amber might need sometimes. I can see him. I can see him being used in Amber decks. I mean, him being able to draw cards, as I've said countless times, you do not have a massive hand size in this game, so being able to draw cards is pretty good. And definitely doing it off a body is really strong as well. But 7 cost is a lot, man.
That is expensive.
That is expensive. But he is also Stitch, and he is on a surfboard. So sometimes you might just need to play a surfboard Stitch.
I think this one may just be one for the collection.
I don't know. I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it goes as far as to say it's not a competitive card, but.
Well, I am surprised though it's not shiftable. I would have thought with the amount it costs and its like damage and health, that would have been a shiftable card.
Yeah, I agree. But he is cool. He's got sunglasses too and a sandwich. I don't want to hate on him. That's why.
That's cool design.
Yeah, I want to move over to Baby Stitch. He is such a good boy. He is very happy. He's excited. He's a 1 cost inkable. He's 2/2, and he has 1 lore pip on the side. 2/2s that are 1 cost are pretty good. They can tank a hit from a 1/2, so and trade into it and win. So that's good. And he is the perfect target to shift on for Rockstar Stitch. So don't really have much else to say about that, but I would, if you're going to play Rockstar Stitch, I would run him as a 4 of the normal Stitch. Yeah. We'll move on to Rockstar Stitch. Rockstar Stitch, one of the most busted cards in the game. He's 6 cost, he's inkable. He is 3/5 and 3 law on the pit on the side. He has the ability to shift into himself off a stitch for 4 cost, so reducing the cost by 2, which is pretty good. Dooring fans, whenever you play a character with 2 cost or less, you may exert them to draw a card. So I think Adoring Fans is one of the most strongest effects in this game. Being able to draw, again, you don't really have a lot of, you're basically replacing the cards that you play while you have him out. He's also not once per turn effect, so you can just, as long as you can keep playing cheap characters, you can keep drawing cards. So I mean, I think it's really, really good, and it just allows you to kind of spam the board a little bit. Any thoughts from you on that one?
Yeah, again, I mean, Rockstar Stitch is a fantastic card. The shifting for 4 also is really quite a cheap shifting cost. Like, that's only 5. I mean, it's 1 less than just playing Rockstar
I mean, yeah,
Stitch out.
even if you had
over time,
if you had only a Stitch out at this point, you shift 4 into Rockstar, then next turn you potentially have 5 ink to work with to play like two cost characters and a 1 cost character, and then your hand size hasn't gone down at all because you've just drawn off of Adoring Fans for each one. Obviously, the negative is that your characters are then exposed to be able to be hit into, but obviously we just saw Simba. If you can play Simba in that off that same turn, you're probably protecting most of your characters, so you just have to be worried about removal when you're playing this deck, because there is a lot of ways to pop small things in this game. But yeah, I think this is one of the I think this and Moana and Rapunzel are the 3 strongest cards in Amber for sure.
Yeah.
We have Timon, tastes like chicken. Yeah, when you play this character, you may remove 1 damage from a chosen character. He's a 1 cost. He's inkable. I think this card is really, really good. The only bad thing is a 1/2, but and the 1 law pit. But obviously, him just having an effect and being a 1 cost. Any 1 costs that have effects are just really good in the first set. We don't have a massive card pool to work with, and this helps you. You know, you can swing at a character first, take damage, and then heal some back with Timon, so, or maybe multiple Timons. So it's I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is a good standard. Again, very cheap card. I mean, if you're playing this out on your first turn, it's just a body out on the field. Later in the game, if you've got Rockstar Stitch out, and then effective Adoring Fans, you're playing this, potentially healing something, and then drawing another card. So the combo effects from cards like Timon are really, really useful.
Okay. We'll go into the next one, Be Our Guest. Basically, it's a song card, so you can 2 characters that are 2 cost or more can sing it for free. Lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and you can reveal a character card and put it in your hand, and then you put the rest of the cards to the bottom of your deck. It's just really good. It's just a searcher. Yeah, just a nice way of getting maybe something you really need. Yeah, and that's it. Don't really have much else to say about this one. Yeah, Josh, I think it's just better if you just chime in if you have anything to say, basically. But
yeah, that's fine.
It's
interesting how that card is. It's super rare. Is that correct, or is that?
No, it's just an uncommon. Be Our Guest.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna breeze through some of these because we need to start getting a bit faster. But we have the next action. Control Your Temper. Chosen character gets -2 damage. It's a 1 cost. Inkable. It's an okay card. Allows you to trade into things, not get damaged. I think it's kind of meh. You have this effect on a body, so I don't know if you'd rather, I don't know if you would want to even play this card in the first place.
Taking up deck space.
Then there's Hakuna Matata. That's such a great song. I'm happy it's in the game. It's lovely artwork. Characters of 4 cost or more can sing this song for free. Remove 3 damage from each of your characters. Absolutely cracked. Depending on what type of board state you have, this can completely 180 a game. I don't know if I would run it, but I'm a bit more of a risky player, so I don't know. But I do think this card is very interesting and it's pretty good. Especially
Casual games where people are doing 4-player as well, that could be a really useful card.
Healing Glow, 1 cost inkable action, removes 2 damage from a chosen character. I think it's okay. Don't see anything wrong with it. I personally, again, I think it's taking up a bit too much ink space. Rapunzel does a better job, and you can play her and have a body out pretty quickly. So I don't know if I would really run Healing Glow. It might be good for Simba, to be fair. If your Simba's on 1 health, you just get him back to full health, but can't really see any other use for that card. We have one of my favourite actions. I've probably said this name so many times already. Just in time, you may play a character with 5 cost or less for free. So you basically get to play a 5 cost character on your 3rd turn, potentially even earlier if you have ramp cards. So yeah, I mean, I can understand why it's not inkable. It's a really, really broken card. I'm in love with it. Allows me to play some really powerful cards for free. So, I mean, for free cost. But yeah, definitely really strong.
Good early on in the game.
Yeah, I think it's good late game too. Potentially,
Yeah.
Depends on what your hand's looking like and how many cards you have in your hand. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. We have Part of Your World. I don't run this card, but you do, so I'll let you take it over this one.
Yeah, it's 3 costs, not inkable. It's essentially just a recovery card. You can return a character card from your discard to your hand, so similar to Hades. It is useful. I've used it definitely a couple of times in a few matches, so I think running 1 or 2 of these maybe. But again, if you're running cards like Hades, there's almost no need for it because you're getting a body out and also then returning your character to hand.
Yeah, I think Hades is just a stronger version of this, but if you have because again the game is quite new, there's not that many good cards necessarily in the card pool, so you might need to get certain characters back from your trash. So I think it can be decent, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You have forgotten me. So action, each opponent chooses and discards 2 cards. This card making me want to throw up. I hate that this card exists. It makes me want to be evil, but at the same time 4 cost for this card. I feel like it's okay, but at the same time, I don't know. Discarding cards from your opponent's hand is very, very big in Lorcana. Again, you won't have a big hand size. If you make your opponent discard 2 cards, you can get some really angry players on the other side of that. I definitely would not be happy if that got done to me. But yeah, you have anything to say about it?
No, I think, yeah, as you said, it's kind of a horrible card, really. Especially kind of later on in the game, when you have played out as many cards as you can, you're possibly only down to, say, 2 cards, and then all of a sudden you've got none.
We have, next card, Dingle Hopper, 1 cost inkable item, straighten hair, remove 1 damage from your chosen character. I think it's okay. You can take off damage over time. As long as your opponent's not playing any item removal, and you can keep this on board, like I think it's really strong. But I don't know if I'd let it take up deck space. That's all. And there are some decks that use Belle and her dad, I think he is, but basically they let you play items for cheaper, so this could be potentially a good item to play in off of that deck. Just gonna quickly go over to the next one. Lantern, one of my favourite items, is basically ramp, weirdly, but you can only use it for characters, but still it's really strong. 2 costs, not inkable. Lets you pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. So essentially it's just another ink, but for only characters. I know it's reducing it, but still it's just like, I think it's really strong. But yeah, I have not much else to say about it other than I think it's pretty good. What about you, Josh?
It's really good for ramping. I mean, the 2 cost as well, if you can get this out early in the game, it can quickly change the pace.
Yeah, I think so. We have Ursula's Shell Necklace. Now sing whenever you play a song, you may pay 1 to draw a card. I think it's we've seen quite a lot of cards in Amber that have singer effects. So I think this card is actually quite strong for a deck that uses a lot of songs in it. Because you get to draw a card. That's it. Free cost is a bit more on the expensive side for my liking, but yeah. But I do think it is card draw is really important in this game, so I think it's okay. Anything from me on that one?
No, nothing for me on that one. Yeah, at this point, I'd say it's just okay.
Moving over to another color finally. We have Anna, the first card in Amethyst. Anna Loving Heart. Whenever you play this character, if you have Elsa in play, choose an opposing character. That chosen character doesn't really get the start of the next turn. So you basically get to freeze something when you play Elsa. Really strong. Yeah, I think that's just really strong, to be honest. You can play around it, which I like as well. But yeah, I just think that's pretty good. I like that it freezes. The frozen deck freezes opponent's cards. I think that's pretty funny. Then we have Mr. Owlboy, Archimedes. He's a 1-cost 2/2. We see this in every color. So this is probably like a vanilla kind of card in the game so far, but every color needs it. Just like a easy to play 1-cost character straight off the bat. I don't hate it, don't love it. It is what it is.
It's a good low-cost card, though.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, 2/2, but it's just every color has it, so it's not doing anything special. If you get what I mean.
Oh yeah.
How would you say this, Doctor Facilier?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Shift 5, into the shadows. Whenever your other characters is banished in a challenge, you may return that card to your hand. Yeah, I mean that's all right. It's not bad, not bad at all.
Yeah, allows you to be
allows you to be a bit more aggro and recycle potentially good on play effects. 7 cost is very expensive, and not being inkable kind of sucks. But the free lore on the side of him kind of makes up for that, in my opinion.
He is shiftable as well.
He is shiftable as well. That is true. Then we have his baby version, which has Challenger 2 and 4 health. And it's a 2-cost. I actually think this is a really strong 2-cost. Being able to do 2 damage and have 4 health is, I think it's a bit. It sucks that it can't damage your opponents when it gets swung into, but it is really good at clearing smaller things off the board because you can just tank a hit, if you get what I mean. So if there is
this as a good aggro card.
Yeah, like you can swing this into a 1-cost 2/2, for example, and it's gonna live. So that's great. Then we have his teenage version, we'll call it that. He's a free 2/4 and 1 lore on the side. Dreams made real. Whenever you play a song, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them to the top of your deck and the other at the bottom. I wonder if there's any good cards that you play cards for free off of the top of your deck, maybe, or maybe setting that up for something in the future. I don't know. Lets you stack a little bit of your deck. I think it's okay. I think it's alright. I think it's quite interesting that we have 3 of him in the first set, but maybe it's setting up for something. I don't know. Yeah, we'll move on swiftly. We have a Elsa Queen Regent. She's a 4-cost for she's inkable and she is 4/4. A good target to play with Anna to get something to be frozen. Pun intended. And then yeah, that's it really. Don't really have anything else to say. It's kind of basic, but
average.
Yeah, it's kind of basic, but it's an Elsa, so you do need that to work with Anna. So not complaining. Then we have one of my favorite arts from this game, the Elsa Snow Queen Dreamborn character. She's a 3-cost with 2 free damage and health. She has the ability to freeze an opposing character, so she just she can exert an opposing character. This kind of has synergy with Anna as well, so you can exert a character that then freeze it by playing another Elsa, if you get what I mean. Because the freeze effect only works on suspended cards, I believe. Not the freeze effect, but you know that actual not being able to get ready because you can't.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the character's ready already, there's too many readies in one sentence. But if a character's not suspended, I don't think that effect can target them. I think it can only target suspended characters with Anna's effect. So this lets you suspend any character basically. Then we have our legendary Elsa, Spirit of Winter. She allows you to shift 6 on one of your Elsas, so you have a few targets for that. Then you have the ability Deep Freeze. When you play this character, exert two chosen characters and they can't ready at the start of the next turn. I think that's pretty strong. This deck I can see be quite annoying, a bit similar to kind of a blue hybrid / blue fled Digimon deck, but basically stop your opponent from playing the game. Don't think that's bad at all. She is a bit expensive, I have to say though. Even the shift 6 is kind of on the higher end of the shift category.
Yeah, I mean, it is expensive, but she does have the 3 lore pips, and the Deep Freeze is quite a good ability. It's not just targeting one character, but 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think we'll have to see. I'd have to see this card a bit more in play to have more of an opinion on it. We have Flotsam. Is that his name? Flotsam?
Awesome.
I don't know. Ursula Spy. He has Rush, so he can attack. So he won't be able to quest, but he can attack characters once he comes into play. He's a 5-cost, not inkable, and he's 3/4. He has Dexterous Lunge. Your character's name Jetsam, getting Rush. I think he's okay. I think I don't know how often you're gonna have a Jetsam in hand to be able to work with this card, but if you do, you can give him Rush. Move on to the next one. Jafar, 4-cost, inkable, 0/5. He is a Dreamborn. He has the ability Hidden Wonders. This character gets +1 damage for each card in your hand. I believe that's all turns as well, because it doesn't say on your turn only. So this card could potentially be quite big, and your opponents might not want to swing into it, depending on how many cards you have in your hand. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's okay. I just think it's okay. There's not a lot of draw power in this game in the first set, at least. So I don't know how useful he's gonna be, but maybe you can play him with Steel and use a whole new world to get him up to 7 damage. That might be a strategy, but yeah, I think it's an interesting character for sure. Then we have another Jafar, Wicked Sorcerer. He has Challenger 3, and he's a 4-cost inkable 2/5. I think this character is actually very, very strong. One of the best 4-costs in the game. Being able to get
very good aggro card.
Yeah, basically being a 5/5. That is just ripping apart one cost and 2 cost all day long, basically. I think he's really good, and I think it's balanced because he has the Challenger ability, so he only is that powerful. Oh, I think he's going to be pretty decent, to be fair. Move on to Jetsam. So this is the one that works with Flotsam. He has Evasive, so he can only be challenged by characters that have Evasive. And then Sinister Sliver. Your character's name Flotsam, gain Evasive. I think he's alright. If you can get both out, I can see that being a bit of a problem for people, but I don't see a world where you play both on the same turn because they're
Right.
quite expensive together. But yeah, not much else to say about that. Then we have magic brooms. They're 2 cost. They have the ability sweep. When you play this character, you may shuffle a card from any discard into its player's deck. So it's a good way of stopping your opponent getting recursion out from their trash. And it works with the Magic Mickey, I believe. So you can make I think there is a broom deck and a broom in archetype kind of deck going about. But yeah, I'll have to see more cards to tell you how good this one is. But yeah, I think it's a decent 2 cost. Has an ability, very good. And you can potentially stop your opponent from doing shenanigans with their discard. So I like that. We have a Maleficent. This is basically Lilo. Uninkable, 1/1, but 2 lore on the side. I think that's really strong. If they ever make a shift Maleficent, which I can definitely see, actually has like a dragon version of her. I know that's in the game already, and it's not shift, but I can see a shift version in the future definitely coming out. A one cost early to shift later on onto, I think could be pretty strong. Two lore pips is really good. If you play this for 100%, your opponent is if your opponent swings into it with a character, it's taking at least a little bit of damage, but you have to quest and already benefit to do that. And if they're using removal to get rid of this, they're paying more than you paid to put it down. So I think it's pretty strong. Then we have Maleficent, 3 cost. Cast my spell. When you play this character, you may draw a card. That's actually really strong. You basically get to play her without losing hand size advantage, and being 3 cost, inkable, and 2/2. I think she's okay. I don't see why you wouldn't run her. She's alright.
Yeah, I think like similar to the other cards we've seen earlier on with Amber, it's a good card, good health, good damage, decent cost. The ability, I think, is the key thing for this card.
We have Marshmallow. He has the ability Drawable. When this card is banished in a challenge, you may return this card to your hand. He's a 6 cost, not inkable, and he's a 5/5. Yeah, I like that effect, but I also don't like that effect. I think if he had more lore on him, he would be a much more threatening board presence, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
But because you have to wait, because he has summoning sickness, unless you give him rush, which actually you can give him rush because there is a card that gives all characters rush in Amethyst. I can actually see it in that context. Then I can see him being quite strong, to be fair, because you can just keep using him to crash into things, and then take him back, and then use him again and again and again, depending on how much ink you have. But if you have 12 ink to play with, or more potentially, because I think you have to pay to use the item as well. I mean, I don't know how your opponent or you haven't won the game at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
We have Mickey Mouse, Wayward Sorcerer. He has the ability to animate a broom, so you pay 1 less to play a broom characters. And then Ceaseless Worker. I don't know, I said careless, sorry. Whenever your broom characters is banished in a challenge, you may return that card to your hand. So you basically have infinite broom deck. I can see this being a really cute kind of meme deck to play, but I actually think it's probably pretty good. Again, I need to play a bit more of other colours. I've mostly been dabbling into Sapphire and Amethyst and a bit of Ruby and Emerald, so I haven't really touched every sort of type of archetype, but yeah, I do think the broom deck does sound pretty fun to play with. I really like his artwork for this card as well. We'll move on to Olaf. Olaf weirdly is a 1 cost that's inkable, but is also 1 free. So Olaf is definitely probably surviving when you play him, because even Fire of the Cannons can't get rid of Olaf. Yeah, I think it's a really good one cost character. Don't have anything else to say really. 1 free is definitely interesting. Then we have Pascal. He is a 1 cost inkable character. He's a 1/1, but if you have another character in play, he gains evasive, so only evasive characters can challenge him. That's really, really strong. That's really, really strong. This boy is probably questing all day long, and because he has evasive, if your opponent can't dedicate any evasive characters or resources to getting rid of him, he's just continually giving you 1 lore each turn, so I do think he's pretty good. Do you have anything to say about this one?
Yeah, again, I think a super good cheap card. If you can play out another level 1 turn 1, get this guy out turn 2. Essentially, as you've just said, you have a card which is very unlikely to be attacked unless there is another evasive out in the field.
Even then, even if there is another evasive, I don't know if you dedicate attack to Pascal, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, because he's a chip character. Like the 1 lore, it's a damage over time. You're not going to do much in 1 hit, so you are sacrificing your own.
I would even go as far as to say this might be an Amethyst staple.
Yeah, I can see that.
We'll move to the next one, Rafiki, Mysterious Sage. This is such a badass Rafiki. He is 3 cost, not inkable, but that's because he has a rush, so he can attack the turn he comes out, and he's a 3/3 and has a 1 pip. So I mean, this is hair, in my opinion, to crush 1 cost and 2 cost cards just straight up, if you get what I mean. Because you have nothing on your board, and then your opponent probably will quest with their 1 cost or 2 cost thinking they're safe, and then bam, Rafiki comes out of nowhere and he hits you with his stick. Rafiki doesn't play no games. We'll move over to Sven. He is a deer. That is a 6 cost and inkable. He's a 5/7, so he's quite tanky to be fair. But I mean, that's coming with the price. He also only has 1 lore pip, so I don't know if you're really using him to attack. I guess you're using him to attack into characters, right?
Yeah, but his cost and his stats, he must be an attacking character. You can't be questing for him. Or that can't be his sole goal.
Yeah, I think you're just swinging into stuff with him. We have the Queen. She is a 5 cost inkable. She's a 4/5, 1 pip on the side, but she has the ability Summon Thee, draw a card. That is actually, unironically, very, very strong, in my opinion. 5 health is good enough to tank a few hits. I mean, depending on what your opponent obviously has on their side of the field, but 4 damage is what they're going to trade it into it back, so 4 damage is quite a lot. And then but just being able to draw a card for free, you don't even need to pay a pit any ink every turn. If you can keep her out for multiple turns, you're just benefiting so much off of this character. So I think it's really, really strong. Do you have anything to say about it?
I think it's what you've said. I think this character is interesting in that you probably wouldn't even want to use the Queen to quest. You would want to use it for the effect.
Yeah, I think you just use it for the effect. If you can get this out early, I think it's really strong. We have the Wardrobe. I think this card is literally the definition of mid in this game. It's a 3 cost, inkable, 3/4, no ability.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just mid. We'll move on to Tinkerbell. 5 cost, not inkable, has evasive, and has the ability Loyal and Devoted. Your character's name Peter Pan, gain Challenger +1, so it makes your Peter Pan a bit stronger. For 5 costs, being free and having 2 pips on the side, unless you're using this to shift later as a shift target, I think this is kind of meh. I think it's a bit too expensive.
Yeah, it does seem like its real design is to support Peter Pan decks. So, depending on what they work and how they play, it is expensive for what it is.
We have Ursula, 7 cost, not inkable, has the ability It's Too Easy. When you play this character, each opponent loses 1 law, and you may draw 1 card for each law lost this way. It's a 2/8 and has 3 law pips on the side. In multiplayer, this card would pop off differently. But I believe this game is mostly going to be played one-on-one, in terms of like a local scene. It's going to sound weird for one-on-one card. For one-on-one games, I think this card is really bad. Just because it costs 7 and you're just going to draw 1 card and your opponent's only going to lose 1 law. But if it's like 4-player or potentially more even, like I don't know how, but yeah, I mean like sure. This card can really pop off, but it costing 7 is quite expensive. Bear in mind, it is a legendary card as well, so it's quite interesting. If multiplayer is quite popular, then I can see this card like being a bit more expensive. But yeah, 7 cost is very expensive. Then we have Yzma. You're excused. Whenever this character quests, look at the top card of your deck. Put it either on the top or bottom of your deck, so you can put cards that you don't want to the bottom of your deck. It's 2 cost, inkable, 2/2, 1 pip on the side. I think this is a really strong 2 cost card. Has a really strong ability. You don't even
cycle through your more worst cards in your deck.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really strong. We have Zeus. Zeus is a 4 cost, uninkable, has a rush, and has Challenger +4. Again, I think him with Rafiki are really strong cards to start dealing with your opponent's early game board and just crash into things, and or just take out smaller things than you. I think is pretty good. Being able to come out of nowhere with no summoning sickness and hit like potentially a Stitch before it becomes a rock star is very interesting, and I think it's really strong. I think it's balanced with the Challenger ability because then your opponent can swing into it without taking damage. So yeah, I think it's quite balanced, this effect, but I think it's really strong for Amethyst, and it having 2 law pips as well is really good. We'll move on to the actions, I think now. So Befuddled, 1 cost, inkable action. Return a character or item 2 cost or less to their player's hand. I'm guessing that's from... Oh, that's actually... Is that from the field or from the trash, or can it be both? Because it doesn't really say, so I think it can be both.
Ooh, that does change up things, doesn't it? Because you could really utilise a low-cost card for its on-play effect, if that's the case.
Unless I'm being silly.
No, it doesn't say.
No, but you can also use it to bounce your opponent's characters back to their hand as well.
It's quite open-ended.
Yeah, I don't know if it. I don't know. I don't think it is trash. I think it is just on the field. But yeah, that is quite interesting. I think that's not bad. I think that's if there's a lot of items, this is a really cheap way to get rid of them. So I don't think it's bad. Next is Freeze, 2 cost, uninkable, exert chosen opposing character. I don't think this card is bad. I don't think it's great. It really depends on what deck you're building and with what other colors you're putting into that deck. But bringing something out with Rush, then just exerting one of your opponent's characters and swinging it into them, I can see that being quite strong. So I think this is a really deck dependent choice. We'll move on to what I think is a staple for Amethyst. free cost inkable, friends on the other side. When a character with free cost or more, sorry, if a character free cost or more can sing the song for free, and it lets you just draw 2 cards. Really, 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 really strong. Really good for the game. Gives a little bit of a draw engine into Amethyst, and it's inkable, so it's not ever a bricky card to have in your hand. 1 cost action. That's a song, reflection. I don't really get 1 cost like singing actions, like song actions, because 1 cost is not really like expensive, if you get what I mean. I don't know why you would need to get a character to sing it for free, if you get what I'm saying, Josh.
Yeah,
It's
especially for the effect that it is as well. You're not actually drawing anything, you're just rearranging the top 3 cards.
I mean, that might be relevant for some, I don't know, there might be an effect that works with that in the future. I don't know if there is I don't think there is in this set, but yeah, I think there might be. Maybe there's like a mill deck, so like I'll mill like the top 3, for example, and then this character, or reveal one, and do you get what I mean? Like this character can be played for free. But
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. Purple, 2 cost item card that's not inkable, called Magic Mirror, and it has the ability Speak. So you pay after you've paid the cost of this item. Potentially later on in the game, you can pay 4 ink to draw a card. Now this does sound bad, but I'm telling you, with how small your hand size can get some games, you're gonna wish you had this card out sometimes. And it being 2 cost for an investment for later, I don't see it being a bad thing, honestly. It not being inkable kind of sucks, but other than that, do you think it's okay? What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, it's an okay card. I think obviously the draw power is always good, but
no, but I mean like late game, like you might have like a song in hand, you might not have any characters, but you have ink available to use. So being able to use it on something that can potentially draw you into a removal card or another character to play, I think is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you have a bad hand, and this is like the lowest card you can play early on as well, it's not bad to have it out there from the start. But yeah, I think this will be very deck dependent on what people want to do.
Ursula's Cauldron, 2 cost item card, uninkable. Peer into the depths, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Oh, I mean it's okay again for not like to keep yourself from breaking and drawing into bad cards later on into the game. But I just don't know. I don't know if it's gonna sound weird, but I don't know if you have time to play this card in a game. And it not being inkable is really, really bad. If you get what I mean.
If it was inkable, then
it would be a lot different, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be an okay inkable card if it was inkable, but I think it not being inkable kind of sucks for me. I might eat those words one day, but yeah. Then we have the last card of Amethyst, White Rabbit's Pocket Watch. 3 cost inkable, has the ability I'm late. After you played the card, you can pay 1 ink to give any character rush this turn. This card is absolutely crazy. One of the best item cards in the game, hands down. Just being able to give anything rush. Like, bear in mind you can mix this with any color in the game, so you can have an Amethyst engine just to be able to give stuff rush. Man, this card's really strong in my opinion. Don't know how you feel about it, Josh, but I think.
Oh yeah, you know I love rush.
Yeah. Damn, I hate rush, so I know this card's gonna make me so angry. Well, now we're on to another color, so we're on to green, which is emerald. I think it's emerald, right? Or I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Might be wrong.
Yeah, it's emerald.
Okay, cool. Well, we have Aladdin, who is a 2 cost inkable 2/2 but has ward, so it can't be chosen by your opponent character. Sorry, your opponent's effects, except only to be challenged into. Very, very strong. You can play this card and not suspend it, and then it's a really good target because there's a shift Aladdin, I'm pretty sure. So like this is a way to definitely ensure that you're going to get into your shift Aladdin, if you get what I mean. I think that's in a different color, but yeah, I think you mix these two colors together to be able to do that. So yeah, I think it's pretty strong. One of the best 2/2s in the game. Next card. Oh, this is a legendary card. It's Beast. He's a 5-cost uninkable, but he has Rush. He's a 4/4, and he also has the ability called Roar. When you play this character, exert all of your opponent's characters that have damage on them. I think this is pretty good. I think this is very good. Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's a good card. I think it's really, really good.
It is a good card. I think this one to really benefit does require some good piloting though.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a high skill card for sure, and it has 2 lore pips as well, which is really strong. So once if it does survive what you're going to swing it into, probably, at least you can quest with it and get 2 lore later on as well. You have Cheshire Cat, 3-cost inkable, lose something. So it has 0 damage but 3 health, and then it has the effect of when it's challenged and banished, you banish the challenging character. It has 2 lore pips. I think this character is quite strong early game, but like I can just like get your health down low on this character to 1 and then just swing something cheap into it because it's banishing the challenging character. So I can swing something I don't really care about into it as well. So I think it's kind of fair in terms of like you can play around it, but then also at the beginning you might not be able to, so you'll get your opponents questing with it more often than not. But yeah, I think it's a really good card, to be honest. We have Koala Deville next. She has the ability, so she's a 2-cost, 1/3. A very strong 2-cost card because she has the ability You'll Be Sorry. When this character is challenged and banished, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. That is anything that's targetable. That is absolutely crazy. This card can stay on the field as long as it's not being removed by a removal effect. Again, out of range of fire the cannons because it's free health. You're able to just keep questing with this and getting that little bit of lore that is pushing you further ahead of your opponent constantly. I'm just gonna double check fire the cannons. Spoiler that is 2 damage because I don't want to keep saying this and then I'm actually wrong. And I keep saying it. Yeah, so this is the card I'm talking about, guys. It's a 1-cost, does 2 damage to a chosen character, so it's a really strong early removal card. So we have to be make sure that you're like playing around it, if you get what I mean, because if you play something and it just dies straight away, it can be pretty painful. So we have the next card, Duke of Weaselton. Is a 1-cost 2/2 and has 1 low pip. I don't have much to say about this card. It's just one that we keep seeing in every color, right? So
yeah.
We'll move on to the next one. 2-cost inkable, Flynn Rider, Charming Rogue. Here comes the Smolder. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player chooses and discards a card. I can see this being annoying, and it having 2 lore pips is really, really relevant because you can make it really annoying for your characters, your opponent's so make it really annoying for your opponent to remove this card. But again, it is weak to cards like Fire the Cannons because then you don't have to swing into him. You can just remove him with an action, if you get what I mean.
Well, to be fair, if you take out this character with a somewhat low cost card, like any character which is doing at least 2 damage early on, you kind of can get away with minimal damage.
Yeah. You just don't want to discard a card, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to neg your hand size in this game, so...
But he has 2 pips though, which is kind of a problem.
Yeah, I feel like you can, like I said, removal was a good way of getting rid of him too, so don't forget that.
Yeah.
There is the Genie, 6 cost, not inkable, sorry. He has evasive. He also has the ability to disappear. When you play this character, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. Really strong effect, because it just basically bounces anything you put your opponent has on the field. But it is 6 cost to do it, but then you're also playing a body that has 2 lore pips on it. So if you think about things like Dragonfire and Let It Go, this is a body and it's doing almost the same effect. So I think it's quite strong. What do you think?
Yeah. The disappear is definitely a good ability. I mean, 2 pips, can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, so you literally play this, bounce one of your opponent's characters, next turn quest it for 2. It's pretty good.
I think with these kind of higher cost cards, which aren't inkable, it really does kind of depend on the deck you're going for.
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, obviously you have to manage how much inkable cards you have. But then because of the selective mulligan, I can see like you being able to get away with running this. Speaking of Genie, here's a bigger Genie. This one is 8 cost, uninkable, but has shift 6. He has evasive as well. He has phenomenal cosmic power. Whenever this character quests, you may play an action card with the cost of 5 or less for free. There are a lot of removal cards that cost 5 or less, so I can see why that might be pretty good. But it is very, very expensive, this card. I don't know how I feel about it, if you get what I mean.
I think personally this Genie, its abilities and whatnot, is better than the previous one. And if you can shift Genie Powers Unleashed onto your basic Genie, the ever impressive one, for instance. That's quite a good build.
Yeah, that's not bad, to be fair. If you're playing it with a red or a blue counterpart, you have access to really strong removal actions for that price. So yeah, I can see that. And then we have the basically the base version, which is 2 cost, 2 free. Don't really have much to say. It's just really good for the Genie build, if that's what you're gonna go for. We have Hans, the evil boy himself, scheming prince. He's 4 cost, inkable. He's a 3/3 with 3 pips. This is a really strong 4 cost just because he has 3 pips. If you get what I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If you can play it on curve, then that's definitely decent. Then we have Horus, 4/3, 1 pip. He's okay. Don't really think most people would run him, but I know his counterpart has a good effect, Jasper. So, but we'll get onto that. We have the Parrot, Jafar's Parrot. He is a 3 cost, inkable, 1/4. He has the effect You Got a Problem. So this is the first time we're going to see Reckless, I think. So basically what Reckless does is you get to choose one of your opponent's characters and they can't quest, they have to challenge if they're able to. So this, I mean, that effect works really well with things like Bodyguard. I can already see like a Reckless Bodyguard deck being quite popular. You just make your, it reminds me of Examon a bit, if you get what I mean. Just force your characters to attack into something that you can easily just get rid of. So
it's super annoying.
Yeah, super annoying. I can see it being very annoying. And there's Jasper, 3-cost Inkable 2/4. Can quest for 1. He has the ability Puppy Napping. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest on the next turn. Again, I can see Emerald being really annoying to play against. It has really annoying effects that stop your opponent from playing the game, basically, and doing what they want. Anything to say about that one?
No, not really on that one. I mean, looking at the screen, there are 2 cards which I'm very excited about, so I don't really think I'll be using Jasper much. I mean, he's okay, but not for me.
Next we have one of the legendaries for Emerald, 6-cost Inkable John Silver, 5/5, 2 laws pips. He has the ability Pick Your Fights. When you play this character, whenever he quests, chosen opponent character gains Reckless. Again, can be really annoying to deal with. Yeah, 5/5 is pretty strong. 2 law pips is good. It's just slightly on the bigger end of play cost, but for his effect, I can see that being okay late game.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the cards I was really excited about when it was released, because I mean, Treasure Planet, fantastic film.
Yeah,
the actual abilities of it as well, it works really well.
It's also interesting he's a pirate, so if you do play a pirate deck, potentially you can run him in there.
Well, actually, he's got so many like tags underneath him, so he looks like he's compatible in a lot.
Yeah, he also has Alien. Yeah, so there's not a lot of aliens in Disney shows, I don't think, anyway. So it's good that he's added to the archetype for aliens as well. We have Renegade Scientist Jumper Jakiba. He is a 4/5 with 2 law pips on the side. Just a beefy boy with 2 law pips. It's an okay card. I don't know if you play him. He might be one of those characters you kind of need to fill your deck with. But yeah, I think there are other better characters, but he's not bad.
He's a good mid card.
Yeah, we have Cusco, 5-cost Uninkable. He has the ability Ward, so he can't be he cannot be chosen by effects of your opponent, basically, except for challenging. And then he has no touchy. When this character is challenged and banished, you may banish the challenging character. Again, you can play around this. You can do 3 damage into Cusco with something else, and then use one of your weaker characters to kill him, and then that weaker character is the only one that goes. But him being 3 law pips and having Ward is unbelievably strong. If I'm playing Emerald, I think I'd always play 4 of this card.
Yeah,
it's just so annoying to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, again, this card, the reveal of it, one of my favorite Disney films.
Emperor's New Groove is definitely really good.
So good. So in this card as well, the no touchy.
Yeah, ties in quite well.
Yeah.
Also, his flavor text, I asked for Emerald and that is clearly Jade. What is wrong with you people? That's pretty cool because he's an Emerald, so.
Yeah.
We have Lady... I don't even know how to say it. Tremaine, yeah. She's actually... So, this card seems weird, but I'm telling you now, this card is actually very, very strong. Because you're able to take... When you play her, you're able to take an action card from your discard to your hand. So if you imagine, like, Genie lets you just, like, play actions for free that are 5 cost or less. So you can play this, take an action back, use Genie to play, because you won't have any ink probably to be able to spend, or not much after you play her. You can play an action for free. Oh, did I just hear you go, ooh?
Yeah, no, that's a good combo right there.
Also, you can actually use her to, I was thinking about this today. If you have recursion, or a way to recur her, or just see her often enough, you can potentially deck out your opponent with, because you're able to take any action card. So you can take a whole new world and make your opponent draw 7 cards. Potentially, if you have 4 whole new worlds, then you have 4 of her. Potentially, you can make them draw 7 cards 8 times. I mean, I'm pretty sure that would be inconsistent as hell, but it's just interesting that you could potentially make a deck out game plan in the first set, if you get what I mean.
Can you imagine if that happened?
Oh, I would cry. I'd actually just cry. There's nothing you can even do to stop that. It's just like you're just watching yourself get decked out. But again, because she's so expensive, I just don't see how you're not winning the game at that point anyway. If you get what I mean. So there might be a way.
She only has the 1 law.
Yeah, she only has the 1 law, but she has 5 health, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
We have the Mad Hatter. He has the ability Tea Party. Whenever this character is challenged, you may draw a card, and he has 3 pips. Very strong card. Very, very honestly, a very strong card. At least you're gaining something when he has 3 pips, and then if someone swings into him, you're gaining something from it. Can't see anything.
But it's very likely that he's going to be challenged because he has the 3 pips.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's also really quite low on the health and damage, so he's a useful card.
I mean, Emerald is literally just like challenge baiting you all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. We have Meg pulling the strings. She has Wonder Boy. When you play this character, chosen character gets +2 power for the turn. Not bad, not great. Actually, her in a Amethyst deck with the Poké Watch to give her rush is kind of strong because she only has 1 life anyway. So I think you can choose her because it doesn't say you can't choose herself. And then just give her 4 power and just swing it into something, if you get what I mean. So
yeah, she does a good combo right there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. Again, 1 or 2 costs that have effects are always interesting because again, we don't have a big card pool, so you have to really look at stuff and see what you have to work with. We have the Green Arrow Mickey Mouse. You can shift 5 on top of a Mickey Mouse. I don't know why it says Tinkerbell on the website when you click on him, but he has misdirection. When you play an action, chosen opposing character can't quest the next turn. So this card for me is just really mid. I actually don't like this card. I feel like it's just bait. It's just baiting you to think it's great, but it's really not. I don't think it's that good.
I get where you're coming from. The misdirection though, would that be once per turn, or if you were able to use quite a few action cards?
It just says whenever, so it's every time you can use an action card.
So you could potentially freeze your opponent's characters for.
You definitely can. If you're running that many actions in your deck, I'd imagine your deck is quite bricky. But also, that even if you're shifting into this guy, I mean, I think you can just in time shift into this on a yellow Mickey Mouse. So I think that might be a way to cheat him out the fastest. But even then, I still feel like that's not really that strong, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, it is a lot of effort for what it is.
Yeah. We can move on. We have another Mickey Mouse. We have the Steamboat Pilot, black and white OG Mickey Mouse. He's a 3-cost, inkable 3/4. Don't really have much to say. He's okay. Might need to fill your deck with him, I guess. 4 is a decent amount of health, to be fair. And then 3 is a good amount of damage, so questing with this guy. No one's going to trade into him that well, so it's alright.
Yeah, he's a good average card, and the artwork's pretty nice.
We have Mother Gothel, I think Gothel, right? Selfish manipulator. I like her ability name. Skip the drama, stay with mama. While this character is exerted, opposing characters can't quest. Wait, what?
That seems broken.
And she has 6 health.
So you have to get rid of her in order to quest.
I mean, to be fair, she is 6 cost to play, so potentially she'll just get removed as soon as she comes down. but she has to wait a turn to be able to quest anyway. But this card is actually really, really good. Like, really, really good.
Yeah.
We have Peter Pan. He has evasive. Yeah, he's a good free cost, and he has evasive, so it's harder to get rid of him for your opponents. Yeah, good. We have a little crab boy. He is just okay. He is 2 cost, but he has 4 health, so that's interesting. He's a bit more of a tank. If you're playing him with Rockstar Stitch, you can play him out exerted and not worry too much about him getting killed, but also he only is doing 1 damage to your opponent's characters, so I don't know. If your opponent has high power cards, then he is probably just getting ran through, to be honest, but yeah, I think he's just okay. Anything from you on that one?
He is a cheap mid card.
We have Tinkerbell, another Tinkerbell. So this one has evasive and it has pixie dust when you play this character. Another character gains evasive for the turn. It can be really good for keeping your characters alive in their quest. And yeah, that's quite interesting. Good card for decision making, I think. We have, oh yeah, and then we have this card, Do It Again. Return an action card from your discard to your hand. So yeah, you could use this to recycle. You could use this to recycle a whole new world as well for the deck out plan. I hope I'm not making anyone have to play against the deck out deck by talking about this, but it is definitely a problem I can see happening in the game. Also, just recycling removal is unbelievably annoying. Especially removal you can play for free within the same color. So you could recycle a removal card, use Genie to play it for free. So it's just kind of gross. I like this action though, I think it's really strong.
Yeah.
We have Mother Knows Best. A character free cost or more can signet for free. Return chosen character to the player's hand. Literally Megadeth, bro. Literally Megadeth. Cheap and can bounce anything. Absolutely cracked. This is the strongest, cheapest removal card in the game. Free cost to just go, oh, that's a nice 7-drop you have there. Take it back. It's like, bruh. And you can sing it. You can literally just sing it. It's like, bruh. But it is actually horrible. And you could sing it, pay free to do it again, and then take it back, and then just pay free again to do it twice in one turn. Then there's 1 cost Stampede, deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. It's kind of like a worse Fire the Cannons. It's okay.
It's not bad. I mean, it is 1 cost.
It is 1 cost. It's just not inkable. If this was inkable, I'd say yeah, it's good, but
yeah, definitely.
We have 5 cost uninkable Steal from the Rich. Whenever one of your characters quests this turn, each opponent loses 1 law. Again, I think one of those characters that aren't the greatest. I'm sorry, one of those characters' actions that aren't the greatest in 1v1, but in multiplayer, I can see it being a bit stronger. Obviously, yeah, don't have anything else really to say about it. It is expensive though, and it's not inkable, which sucks. We have next one, Sudden Chill, a song, so it can be sung by characters 2 cost or more. Each opponent chooses and discards a card. That if someone played this, I'd just be like, why? I'd just be like, why? Why did you wake up angry today? It's like such a horrible card to play. I hate like in this game you don't have much of a hand side, so just losing 1 card can be really painful sometimes.
As each opponent, oh no, hang on. I was gonna say that wouldn't include yourself, would it? That'd be more for a multiplayer situation.
I think it's good 1v1 as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Free cost action next. Inkable, the beast is mine. Chosen character gains reckless next turn. Could be really good in a reckless bodyguard deck that just forces your opponent's characters to swing into your bodyguards and have to eat up a lot of damage on themselves. I can see it being really annoying, especially because you can recur it with other characters in Emerald and actions. So we have 1 cost Inkable, Vicious Betrayal. Chosen character gets +2 damage this turn. If it's a villain character, if chosen, they get +3 instead. I think this card's very good. I think it's pretty good for a villain deck. Can see it being very strong for a villain deck. Makes a lot of your lower end be able to swing over other stuff. So can see it being really strong.
I 100% agree. Being a 1 cost Inkable as well,
Yeah.
I think that really makes it worthwhile.
There's not a lot of.
Even if you don't use it, you can still use it to ink.
There's not a lot of downsides to it, right? So,
No.
okay, so we'll cover this last card for today. No, sorry, these last 2 cards because they're last of Emerald, and then we're halfway through the colors. So we'll pick it back up tomorrow. But we just wanted to jump on it day 1 because you know, it's very exciting having all the cards revealed, and finally we could do a whole set reveal. I'm sorry it's so long, but we're trying to give you in-depth content, and we don't like to sugarcoat anything, so just giving you our honest opinions. We have Dr. Facilia's cards. The cards will tell. It's an item that you can suspend. You pay 1 less for the next action you play this turn. Oh, that is gross. That is actually gross. Oh, this is so. I can see this being so horrible, bro. If you have 3 of these out, you can just do it again for free, and then it's literally just a lantern but for action cards.
I was gonna say lantern and this is a fierce combo.
Yeah. Oh, bro. I think that's really good. I think for that mill deck I've been talking about as well, it could be really, really horrible. And we have Stolen Scimitar. It's an item card. Chosen character gets +1 this turn, and if their character's name is Aladdin, he gets +2 instead. I do think Aladdin, Emerald, Red is probably one of the most strongest decks in the game. I honestly think that. There's so many things that it's got going for it. And also, it's the starter deck as well. So I actually think the Emerald Ruby starter deck is probably going to be the strongest out of the bat, in my opinion. It'll be the easiest to upgrade into a tier 1 deck. You haven't read the Ruby Aladdin. I mean, it's kind of on screen now, but the Ruby Aladdin is freaking cracked. It's so good. And you can make a really aggressive, annoying to deal with deck mixing these 2 colors together. I think it's actually one that I might put my partner, who's also a competitive card game player. Thankfully, I met someone like that. SVN Mia, but I think it suits her playstyle of playing aggro, so I think she'll probably be on Emerald Ruby. I think it's a really strong card combination. Aladdin you can shift into later from Ruby, and just being able to keep your Aladdin alive because he has ward as well is really good. Well, that concludes our part 1 of the set review. We'll go through some more soon and get that video out soon as well. But thank you guys for watching part 1. I'm sorry it's so long, but again, we're trying to give you an in-depth review because the game, we're at base level, so there isn't really any tournament results to look at like there is with some Japanese card games, because usually the cards come out a few sets ahead over there. We're at base 0, so we're trying to give you ideas and some cool combinations and just our honest thoughts and opinions. So we hope you guys enjoyed watching part 1, and stay tuned for part 2. Thank you, Josh, for joining me, and if you'd like to say anything.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. And also, I think this is just going to be a fun game. The cards there's obviously a lot of really well-known characters that a lot of people love, and yeah, I think it's just going to be super fun. I'm looking forward to when it's properly released.
Cool. We'll catch you guys in part 2. Thank you for watching. Bye.